All right, back at it again. Let's get in here.
The lift is this way.
Stop saying that. It's not.
Corporal
I'm
Anton,
ahead of you.
We are in position.
Excellent, Captain. I'm sending the lift up now.
All right. First things first. Get the axe and the ammo.
Granting access. Authorization as Starseed Ultra.
The delay on that is so ridiculous.
Hold the lift. We have orcs inbound. Kill them all! Kill them!
God, my AI allies are awful. Now I'm starting to think there's a trend of 40k AI being bad. I don't think that's true, because I think Dawn of War is actually, like, lauded for having very sophisticated AI. I vaguely remember people saying things like that, but, oof. Alright, focus on the guys with guns, because they are a huge pain in my ass. Oh, of course he got out of his stun animation right as I was trying to execute him. Where did that guy with the gun go? I saw him hiding over here and I wanted to come get him before he could cause problems. Is that him there? Whatever, he's got yellow. Good enough. Can't see because of the beam in the way. That's cool. Now I've lost half my health. Let's see if I'm gonna die. Nope. Managed to save it. Alright, I need to think about, like, how would you fix this health system, the dynamics here? Because it's a cool idea, and it's lore, I don't know if it's not lore accurate, but it's lore reasonable to, oh, wait a minute. No, actually, I don't have the Iron Crown. Why did I think I did? I thought I did, because that explains, that's the whole lore reason for the shield, I thought. Is there a secondary shield you get later? I don't actually remember now. I love him just buffing through my attack, ignoring everything I was trying to do. I think it's called the Iron Crown. It's the thing. Does one of the other guys have one? It's this sort of like crown of thorns looking thing that's available as a piece of equipment. It's like, I don't know if it's technically Archaeotech or if it's some other kind of thing, but it's either made by or adapted heavily to the Imperium, and it's like a thing that gives an additional layer of shielding in the cannon to Astartes. I think you must get it later then, because I know it's in here. Look at him just ignoring everything. Fuck you, bro. And your friend just runs through you. Thank God the AI actually does damage.
Yes, my lord.
But yeah, I don't have it. Neither do my friends.
Yes, Lord Drogon. We have not seen him for several days.
Yeah, so actually this doesn't, like, the canon why there's a shield right now kind of doesn't
The Ultramarines are here.
doesn't make a lot of sense. It's also just weird that I take as much damage as I do on a normal difficulty from fairly standard
All I can
orcs,
say
you
for
know?
certain is that no
If I was
orc has breached this
if I was avoiding more big swings from really big orcs, like I don't know. It feels
now have a viable approach from orbit.
feels bad for the lore to be like, oh yeah, and Astartes takes like 3 hits and you know,
Here we are,
his
my
his
lord.
armor's done for or whatever. Because yes, the armor is not supposed to be like the be all end all, but you also have to start adapting the ideas of the lore to gameplay, where it's like maybe the gameplay version of the armor needs to take more hits than the lore version, purely because there isn't an in-game way to articulate things like the combat prowess of an Astartes, in the same way as like in D&D, armor class is it's basically a sum of both. It's not just your armor, it's also things like dodge, that, you know, indicate my armor class is higher, not because I'm wearing a thicker armor, but because I just am more likely to get out of the way of an attack. And that's an appropriate kind of mechanization. What's the word I'm looking for? Turning a lore thing or a world thing into an actual mechanic, which just feels like if I'm following that logic, then taking 3 hits from some bog standard orcs and dying feels bad. I mean, I complained about the Deathwing Gene Stealers being entirely too competent, but this is an entirely other level. Like, Gene Stealers are a bigger threat than some pretty standard orc infantry. There's got to be logs in here somewhere, right? Did I... I just want to make sure I don't miss any, if I can avoid it. I'll probably come back if I really care and come get them with not too much struggle, but as long as I'm here, I might as well. I don't want to be consulting a guide to go try and find them right now, but
At last, a place the orcs have not stained.
For now, I doubt even dropping that cannon on them will convince orcs to back away.
Indeed. We must find this Inquisitor and the Titan Invictus.
anything? Servo skulls? I'm really ruining the experience of this approach, but you know.
Work, focus, meet your quota. Increase productivity gains high favor from the machine god.
I love little things like that because that's exactly the kind. Man, that texture is so low. You can like until you get up close, you'll never notice it. I love little touches like those lines just to sort of set tone of. In any other setting, that's an indicator of like an unironic dystopia of like, you know, obey your totalitarian overlords. But in this context is like, I mean, that's still the case in this context, but it is framed in such a way as to say, like, no, this is a good thing, right? Because the Imperium is good, right? Definitely not, you know, an uncaring bureaucracy that doesn't actually care about humanity.
Titan Invictus seems unused, you mean? Is this invasion not enough to bring out the War Titans?
It takes hundreds to get a War Titan operational, Sergeant. Without them, it sits idle.
scale of Titan was this supposed to be again? I don't remember now. It seems overly large. I'm gonna have to double check. Because yes, the Titans are huge, but they come in various sizes, and most of them aren't that big. I'm not getting the best sense of scale, but it seems oversized. I don't know. Like, obviously they don't want to, for storytelling reasons, for visual impact reasons, they don't want to make it look too small. But then, you know, they could have written it that it's a bigger Titan type, because they do make them bigger.
There. A lone human.
Identity confirmed. Drogon. Ordo Xenos.
He's in this wing of the Manufactorum.
I read alien signals throughout the facility, and a large number converging on the Inquisitor's location.
Okay then. I'm sure going to meet an Inquisitor will be good for us. Right?
Section 449 is understaffed by 100%. Please rectify.
Understaffed by 100%. So talking about the Imperium a little bit again, while we have a moment to breathe. The Inquisition is exactly what it sounds like, except that title is taken completely unironically because, you know, I'm in our most people on average these days know the Inquisition from Monty Python memes, and that's about it. The reign of the Inquisition in Spain and elsewhere is horrible on so many levels. But just the idea of an Inquisition of any kind and that sort of thing is like taken to whole new levels in the 40k universe. We're taking so many lifts. I think it's supposed to, you know, I think all these lifts are really supposed to give us a sense of scale. Some of them do, some of them don't. This is such a weird traversal, and because of the framing of my camera, it's more like we're just making we're just moving weirdly. Doesn't feel like, if the reason is to show an impact of distance, that's not really what's happening.
Andros, can you use this panel to contact our other forces?
Not directly, but I can boost Vox range.
Do it.
So the Inquisition and all of its associated other bureaucracies and things like the Grey Knights and the Sororitas and various other things. I mean, they're all tied together in one way or another.
Solidus is on the ground and making for our objective.
New orders, Midas. We are at Manufactorum Ajakis and have located the Titan Invictus. I need Solinus to come secure the Invictus while I divert to a priority alarm.
On our way, Captain. Midas out.
Okay. Well, that's dealt with. So, basically, if the Inquisition shows up, somebody's in trouble. Probably lots of people are in trouble. And probably lots of people are going to die, including a lot of people who are innocent, but were associated with something that happened or something someone did. And therefore, it's the Imperium. Just execute them. What the heck? Why not? They probably don't matter. And this gets to points of, like, basically the entire point of the Inquisition is to root out heresy. Cue the memes. But heresy is, by definition, ill-defined.
The orcs are in the pipes.
Because if you're an all-controlling bureaucracy of totalitarian nature and borderline infinite proportion, you don't have to explain yourself. You just have to do whatever you want and remind everyone that the thing that defines who's in charge is power and who wields it. And as long as you can prove that you have more power than the other person and that you will use it to its fullest extent to ruin or maim or destroy them in one form or another. That's the ultimate power in the Imperium. So when you have the Inquisition, an entire branch of the military and politics and the church and everything else, whose sole purpose is to be paranoid, that tends not to result in a lot of fair and balanced choices. And especially when, due to the nature of any bureaucracy, if you've ever had to be in one or deal with one for an extended amount of time, you know very well, it is very self-perpetuating. Bureaucracy by its nature tends to be self-perpetuating because the people involved in it don't want to be out of it. They want to maintain the status quo. They don't want to look bad, look wrong, etc., etc. So there's a lot of the Inquisition doing stuff because the Inquisition said it was the right thing. We checked ourselves and we were correct, kind of thing.
Repeat authorization.
Drogon, prepare the power source for immediate release.
So that gives some context to the fellow we're about to meet.
All safety protocols
Speak clearly. Repeat authorization.
So he's making some possibly ill-advised decisions because he thinks he's the most righteous guy in the room.
Inquisitor Drogon?
I am Drogon. And you are?
Captain Titus of the Ultramarines. We received your distress call.
Man, these subtitles are rendered really poorly. I don't know
I am
why
soldier
they're
and
not.
scientist, both, Captain.
What is the status of the experimental device?
The power source is running the entire Manufactorum from the generator room.
This device is a fuel source, not a weapon?
It is a complex device and an unstable one. If the Orcs find it, they'll try and take it apart. It could detonate with enough force to destroy the entire planet.
Then we must move it to safety.
And for that, Captain, I need your aid. This way.
You are wounded, Inquisitor Drogon.
I'm a psyker. My psychic abilities are controlling the bleeding.
Very well.
Yeah, and, as a general rule, also be suspicious of Imperium-sanctioned psychers. Doesn't mean they're bad inherently, just also means they're, a little extra crazy. Why did we have that brief transition only to go back to another cutscene?
Space Marine! You trying to steal my Titans? Steal my loot? I'll rip your guts right out your throat!
Alright, time to fight this guy again. Survive the crash.
Fight, Space Marine!
Did that guy just ignore... Did the big guy just ignore my bash entirely? Yeah, it feels bad when you can do an execution move that, due to the lack of any invincibility frames, you end the kill with less health than you started it with, even though you gained back health. What are you even shooting at? That guy? I don't even know what that guy was doing there, holding that door open. Weird choice of target priority, though, there, friendly AI. Everybody's very nonchalant, especially the Inquisitor. Any chance there is a pickup? Don't think so. Man, there's no indicator for my... I guess that it doesn't matter. I don't actually have to protect them, but... just kind of funny. You can't even find them.
The Orc has a scent for us now.
Damnable creature! Had he not blundered onto this world?
But he did, Drogon.
Are you just gonna freak out until I open the door? Okay. I was wondering what he was gonna do. Alright, let's give this a second and then we'll go out and deal with what's next.